We've been getting a lot of comments about how we cut this frame and are welding it back together. We do agree with you. If this was the only place this was getting welded, an angled cut or a Z or some other form of weight distribution would be a much more efficient way to do it.
What we decided is on our vertical butt joint, it's basically just there to marry the two products together. We'll do the internal plating, which will disperse the energy away from our butt joint weld. Keep in mind, our deck that we're building is actual structure, so it'll actually be taking a lot of the load off of our frame.
Oh, the hauler is coming together. We've got the big 41, 42-inch Michelin tires, Staswork wheels mounted up on this thing. If you remember last year when we built it originally, we had these same wheels and tires on it. Good to see them back on. As you guys saw last time, we moved the axle about 25 inches back. Now we got everything in place. We did a 75-inch frame extension from here back. We don't know how much we're gonna actually end up keeping at the end of the day. We're just gonna see what we end up using, and if we need to, we can hack some off in the end. If we don't need to, we can use all of it. We don't know if we're gonna add more toys to this thing or not. We're gonna get building this thing, and you guys will just enjoy the episode.
Yeah, maybe. I got the tank in position with the frame temporarily tacked up. If you look at the holes here and holes here, so it used to be right here, right above the axle. Remember, we relocated the axle 25 inches back towards the rear. So I used to have these cross members right here. So I've taken those cross members, I'm moving them 25 inches back right here, and I'm gonna mag drill the holes, put the cross members back in, get the tank up. Once I put the tank in, everything's tight. I'll run a string, make sure everything's super square, and then I'll weld it up, and it'll be nice. We're finishing up our frame extensions. I got my strong backs on the front and back. We ran a string line, make sure the frame is nice and straight. I'm gonna fry out the inside, then I'm gonna leapfrog all my clamps over to this frame rail, fry out that side. Our cross members, we moved them back 25 inches, and our fuel cell, our fuel tank right there, the original factory one, will go right here in the back of the truck, and it's all gonna start tying together. We're almost done. It's a truck again, and then we gotta build the stuff that holds all the cool stuff. Well, as you can see, we ended up adding these plates on the inside and the outside, which will help transfer the load. So on our plating, you can see these little crow's feet. They're actually welded through. What that does is it helps, like if the frame was gonna bend, the first thing that happens on a plate is they try to pop out. It gets a three-dimensional twist, and the only way for it to go is out. So if you weld on the left hand side of your butt joint, it keeps your plate stuck to where it's supposed to be supporting and makes it all one super strong piece.
Help build vans? Yeah.
All right guys, so right now we're working on the cross members for the frame of the bed on this truck. So we're working on cutting up our 2-inch square tube right now. We're cutting 18 cross members to go sideways across this here, get those laid out, welded in, basically complete, and tie into the frame of this giant flatbed. Our cross members in the front are gonna look a little bit shorter than the ones here in the back, and that's because we're going to build some storage boxes up on the front underneath the bed. Don't know exactly what they're gonna look like yet, but we're leaving lots of room for that so we can have some cool storage. And then these back ones are gonna be 96 inches wide, so they'll go and support the rest of the flatbed and all the weight here on the end. And then once I get these all cut out, start laying them out and welding them.
Aaron's got the rubber mallet out today. That's how you know he's being gentle. Big dog flatbed, 24-footer. Call the Guinness Book of World Records, will you? Because this thing is gonna be massive. I know Taylor was talking to you guys a little bit earlier about the skirted flatbed and how this is gonna look. It'll be the first skirted flatbed that I've seen done like this on super singles. So I'm excited to see how this comes out. I don't think you'll be able to see any of the frame. We have boxes on the negative space. Like I said, like Taylor said earlier, but this is exciting. I know Aaron's proud of it. I know a lot of times Aaron doesn't show a lot of emotion around here, but this one, I think he's been thinking about a lot. He looks kind of emotional right now.
Not emotional about this at all.
That's how you know he's hiding it.
It's square tube and sheets.
What do I got to do to get you more excited about this?
Raza.
Mom, if you're watching at home, never seen it. I just love flatbeds. Taylor, I posted a video yesterday talking about this being the world's longest flatbed, and I'm really hoping that this hitch plate sticks out quite a bit because it'd make it a little bit longer for you guys at home that don't really believe me. This thing's 24 feet long, plus this hitch might make it 24 and a half. I don't know. But this is the hitch plate for the world's longest flatbed. We're looking to get the camper on it this week. We're looking to get this hitch plate set up, and then we're gonna look to take it somewhere and test it out. I don't know if all that's gonna happen. A lot of moving parts. I believe we're cutting out the material to weld it to the frame, and we're gonna be working on that.
Yeah, so this is gonna be the first one side of the plate. We're cutting out the other one on the table right now. It's gonna go underneath the bed, and then it's going to kind of squeeze between the two frame rails. It's got cutouts here that are gonna slide over this tube. And so it'll be welded here, and then it'll be bolted to the frame rails through these holes here so that it all just ties the frame, the bed, and the hitch receiver all together into one solid piece. So
last week we had basically all hands on deck to get this thing pushed along as far as possible. We got all the diamond plate in place. You can see right here where our spots for the boxes and everything will go. You got this open spot right here where the negative space for the camper will be. We're gonna build some boxes right there for storage. You got the liquid spring hydraulic tanks right there, the 4-link suspension. This thing's coming along nicely, and I believe the guys are working on the hitch plate and the hitch, and that's gonna be making up most of our departure angle right here. It'll attach straight to the frame, then come back and terminate about right here. This is gonna be sweet. And guys, we would have made this longer if we could have. It's about 24 feet long right now. So this is our world's longest flatbed. Freaking camera guy's asking if this is gonna bend with a Jeep on it. Guys, just let them know how ridiculous that is. Look at the freaking frame extensions on that. Look at the subframe for the bed. And then look at all this. I don't think it's gonna bend. You guys think with a full-size Jeep on there, it's gonna bend? I don't think it's gonna bend. Comment below if you think the camera guy doesn't know what he's talking about. Thinking this is gonna bend with the Jeep on it. I think it's gonna be just fine.
Is this how you did the other side?
We just manhandled it on the other side.
Really? Yeah. No wonder you have no motivation.
I thought we'd try it a little easier. That is a little high. That ain't gonna work.
Taylor's prepping out these skirts for the flatbed, right?
Yep, yeah.
Let's show them where they go, man. This is for my own edification as well as Taylor's. If you haven't figured out, that's my favorite word. I'm gonna have him show us where these are gonna go on the world's longest flatbed.
Up here on the front, we did more of a traditional, like triangular Gusset here, but when we were designing the ones for the back, we realized that once we put the skirt on with the side boxes, there wasn't anywhere that the boxes were going to be tied into besides just up here at the top. And so we decided to extend these brackets out so that they're not only providing support for the top platform, but they're also going to be tied into the boxes on the skirt as well, providing extra strength. So they're going to go all the way like this, tying into the boxes and the frame as well over there.
That's not at all where I thought those went. Yeah. So I'm glad you showed me.
Where did you think those went?
Honestly, I thought they were like the sides of the bed that would come down right here, like the skirted material. Yeah, where there's not boxes and stuff. I thought it was the sides, but it makes more sense now that they're gusset plates to attach to the frame and add stability all the way through the bed. Well, now you know, and I know where they go.
I just remembered that Ryan said that all of the flanges were going to be pointed towards the back. All right, so like we talked about earlier, these are going to be our big gusset plates for not only supporting the overhang of this bed, but also to be able to tie in the skirting of the flatbed as well as the storage boxes. One thing that we did to make these not only stronger but make them look a little bit more uniform is we're going to have all of the brakes facing the same way, except for this one, because as we put them up, they were originally all going to be facing the back of the truck. We realized that any of the dirt and mud and stuff that's going to get flipped up into this wheel well was just going to sit and gather right here on that. So we decided to flip that around on this very front one, just so that it doesn't sit here and rot and cause rust and things like that. So trying to think about the longevity of the truck as well.
All right, the flatbed is looking fantastic. It's looking extra long. The gusset plates are in place. We got these holes cut out for the ramps. We're gonna be welding some angle iron in here and the track system to make it really easy to load and unload those ramps, because they are gonna be pretty heavy. We're kind of at a standstill until we get our camper. The camper we had in state, the specs on it didn't really match up with what we wanted, so we're looking elsewhere. Looking out of state, we found one, I think it's in Washington, and I think we're gonna be able to transport it down here next week. And that's gonna be it. Once we get the camper in place, we can build the boxes underneath it on the negative space, and then build the side skirts, the ramps and everything, and then we can get on the road and actually test this thing out. In the first video, I was kind of just goofing around, thinking like, you know, I'm always throwing out my birthday, because it's like, hey, let's go somewhere for my birthday. Who doesn't want that? I turned 40 this year, and a 40-year-old needs to get out and enjoy life while he can, because the clock's ticking, just like these builds. In the next episode, you should see the rest of it come together. Camper, side skirts, boxes, ramps, and us taking it out. So stay tuned.